Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little different than I guess the typical kind of adventure, hiking, outdoorsy videos that I have posted thus far on my channel. Andrew and I have a really exciting announcement to make that we'll be making some changes to this channel and to the future of it and everything. But yeah, basically get right down to the good of it. We are pregnant. We are expecting a baby. We will be due in September. So yeah, really exciting. I am a little bit further along than I had initially planned to be before I started these videos. I initially had wanted to start them back when I was more around like 12 weeks. Hear a little pitter patter of my dog's feet in the background, sorry. I wanted to start them back around when I was around 12 weeks pregnant, just past that first trimester when we initially announced it to everyone. But that is when the whole COVID-19 pandemic kind of sparked here in the States. So goes without saying that kind of changed some things in everyone's lives. And because of that, I chose to hold off a little bit longer and kind of see how things played out in terms of doctor's appointments, things like that before we made our announcement video. So right now I am almost 22 weeks. I will be 22 weeks tomorrow. So just past that halfway mark. And for the purposes of this video, so that hopefully I don't make it too long, goodness, sorry, out of breath. I am gonna dive a little bit into each trimester, talk about some of the symptoms I had, considering I think nearing the end of the second trimester. It ends around 24 weeks, if I remember right. So I'll talk about the first trimester and what I've experienced so far in the second trimester, how life is going, and then I'll touch just a little bit on what the future of this channel is going to look like. So I did make some notes so that I can talk about the big points of things and hopefully not miss too many things. So yeah, for the first trimester, oh, there's my kitty Sai in the background. She's gonna lay down next to me. For the first trimester, it wasn't too bad for me, thankfully. This is my first pregnancy. This is our first child. So some things that I experienced as far as side effects go, I had some mild nausea, no true like sickness. I never threw up, thankfully. And my nausea was mostly in the morning, and then some at night around dinner time. But it really wasn't too bad, and mostly for that I ate these, I think they're called Preggy Pop Drops. I just got some at Target. They're like little hard candies basically. And I would pop one of those in and they usually helped. Or I would kind of eat some crackers, things like that. I had some food aversions, mostly to like the smells of certain foods would definitely get to me. And I definitely did notice my sense of smell heightened for sure. So yeah, some food aversions. No serious cravings during that first trimester, other than like every now and then I was craving a salad, which was interesting, like a good old Chick-fil-A salad. But nothing that I could really pinpoint a craving on. I did have some serious fatigue during that first trimester. I felt like I was tired all the time and I was napping when I could. You know, I was still at work at that point, so I was super tired at work. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned on this channel, but I'm a preschool teacher, so that's not really a job that you can take lightly necessarily. You're moving constantly with kiddos and you're always on the go. So I was definitely tired. I did have some breakouts, and that was one of my, other than being late for the period, that was one of my other signs that kind of gave me an idea that I might be pregnant. I typically already do get hormonal breakouts, so I was kind of like, all right, either this is my typical hormonal, I'm about to start my period, or I might be pregnant. Maybe this was a sign. And we were trying, so I was watching for signs before that first test result, before we saw the line on the test. So yeah, at that point, I had some breakouts here between my eyebrows and some of my chin. I did switch up some of my skincare because there are some products in skincare that they do tell you to stay away from in pregnancy, so I did switch some of those out. And for in the first trimester doctor's appointments, those were still normal at that point. My husband Andrew was still able to come along with me to those, and I'll touch a little bit more on that coming up. You know, I had my 8-week appointment where they measured the baby, told me my due date, you know, did the full exam, and then I had my 12-week appointment where it was kind of a lot of the same things. They just allowed me to ask questions. Tried to do a quick little ultrasound. They weren't able to see much on that ultrasound. And yeah, doctor's appointments were pretty normal at that point. Talking about, well, yeah. Oh, and my last kind of point I wrote down was that, like I said, I was still at work. I was teaching preschool at the time. There were definitely some work stressors that were going on at that time. And I was trying my best to, you know, manage all that. Because I know stress can be hard on growing babies. So I was working at managing any stress that was coming along. But I did want to show you guys some of the first ultrasound that we got. Kind of just looks like a little gummy bear. This was at 8 weeks, 6 days. And then the one where they show the heart rate. At this point, the heart rate was 176 beats per minute. So that was kind of my first trimester. Nothing crazy, just tired a lot. I remember nauseous every now and then, but it wasn't too bad. For my second trimester, things definitely changed. You know, I started getting some of my energy back, which I was really looking forward to. So that was really nice to get that. The nausea went away for the most part. But then came along good old COVID-19. So that changed a lot of things. Some I think for the good, and some just, I don't know, not anything necessarily for the bad, but something that everyone is experiencing right now. So here in Colorado, it didn't take too long before we went into a stay-at-home order, where pretty much everything shut down, and I know most of the United States went into that along with other countries. Sorry, I have an itch. So we did go into a stay-at-home order, and my school that I teach at did shut their doors, but we did move on to the remote learning model of everything, so that was definitely good. So got to learn a little bit about what it is to teach online. So I've been doing that since about, it was right around St. Patrick's Day, I remember, was when all of that happened. And that's when we moved to remote learning. That's when we moved to the stay-at-home order, and things like that. So, sorry, not to go on a tangent about coronavirus and COVID-19, but there are some ways that that has affected my experience through this pregnancy so far. I do now, any doctor's appointments that I've gone to since, I have to go to by myself, which is a bummer. I know Andrew definitely wishes he could be there for them. I wish he could be there for them. You know, there's some where you just go in and chat and get some labs done. Those ones we're both a little bit more okay with because there's nothing big that's being missed out on. But I have had a couple ultrasounds that he wishes he could be there. I wish he could be there. So that's been kind of a bummer, something that has been different for this first pregnancy for us, something that we definitely did not expect. I had my 20-week anatomy scan, and then I had another ultrasound following that where he was not allowed to come, but they did allow us to FaceTime, which was wonderful. I'm so happy they allowed that. It was still a little hard for him to see, but at least we got to do that, so I'm grateful for that. So we do hope going down the road they'll allow him to come to some doctor's appointments as we move out of the stay-at-home order into the safer at home model, but we'll just kind of have to see how everything goes. I have definitely had more of a need for maternity clothes. Now my regular clothes have not been fitting so well, especially the pants and bottoms. I bought some maternity jeans online on Amazon not long ago, and they're pretty good. I wouldn't rave about them, but they get the job done. They fit over the growing bump. And recently I've been having to look everywhere online to figure out the best maternity clothes, and it's hard because I don't want to spend a ton of money on maternity clothes, but I still want to stay comfortable and, you know, still stay stylish to an extent for when we are allowed to go out. The only places we're going right now is grocery store, doctor's appointments, and that's only purely as needed. So yeah, I definitely have been searching for good maternity clothes. Some of the other side effects I've been having are headaches. Maybe about 1 or 2 a week, I would say. I get a pretty good headache, but the doctor has told me it's okay to take some Tylenol when you feel those coming on, and usually that works. So that's always good. I crave sweets like nobody's business. All I want is sweets. Specifically in the morning, the only thing I can stomach in the mornings is cereal. And I've always been a cereal fan, but I haven't always eaten cereal on a regular basis because I know it's not the healthiest thing for you. I would always go towards eggs and toast, or, you know, just healthier morning meals, yogurt and things like that. But right now I'll have those things every now and then, but most of the time the only thing that sounds good is cereal. It's a couple different cereals. That's all that sounds good. And then I've always been a huge ice cream fanatic, so ice cream has definitely still been on my good side. When we got that 20-week anatomy scan, I did tell the technician that, or I asked him to write the gender down in an envelope or whatever he needed to do for that, because we weren't able to have a gender reveal party like we had initially hoped to do, but we did one quarantine style, and it worked out pretty good. So during the anatomy scan, when it came to time to look for the gender of our baby, the technician just told me to turn my head, and I put my phone down that I was FaceTiming Andrew on, and he got a picture of the gender, and then he printed it and put it in an envelope for us. We then got a couple of those confetti cannons. We had 2 blue ones and 2 pink ones. We took the envelope over to our friend's house, and he concealed the color on the correct cannons because there was a color sticker on the bottom, and he concealed the color on the correct cannons for us. We then had a little gender reveal party. It's kind of a watch party over Facebook we did with our close family and friends. We went to a local park and we went live within that party and were able to shoot our cannons. So I'll insert some of that footage here. I recorded it. I haven't looked at the footage yet, so hopefully we got some good footage. I did make the classic gender reveal flub, and I could not get my cannon to go at the same time as Andrew's, so, but hey, we still were able to see the color. So yeah, I'll insert that here.
All right, parents, do the countdown.
Point it this way, twist it that way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Having a boy! Woo! Having a boy!
So as you guys can see it, we're having a boy. We are so excited. The funny part was though, leading up to that party, we did a lot of the old wives' tales. We did the ring trick, you know, what cravings I was having, whether or not I was having headaches, if my skin was soft or dry, if I broke out. What else? The Chinese calendar, things like that, and our intuition, and majority of things for the wives' tales led towards girl. So there's that. Most of the wives' tales were wrong. Some said boy. I think like headaches said boy. Whether or not I was carrying high or low, but being that this is my first pregnancy, I don't know. I don't know if I'm carrying high or low. It's hard for me to tell. And I'm not seeing very many other people right now for them to be like, oh yeah, that's high or that's low. So that was kind of funny, but we are so very excited. We did the reveal because we didn't mind either way if it was a boy or a girl, but I did for sure want to find out because now that's helping us in choosing a name and setting up his nursery and things like that, and it feels good now to know the gender. So yeah, like I said, I'm working from home now, doing online, you know, remote learning, and you know, just doing whatever's needed of my workplace. My skin cleared up for the most part. Still getting occasional breakouts, but not bad. My appetite's a bit random. I found I'm mostly hungry in the afternoon, like lunchtime. I'm really hungry then, and I'll eat enough then to where I don't really get super hungry for dinner time, so it's kind of hard. And only certain foods will sound good. Not everything sounds good all the time, and it's not to the point of like, that doesn't sound good. It's to the point of, no, I cannot eat that right now. That will make me sick. That will make me feel sick. So trying to manage my nutrition, but also just, you know, feed myself what feels right, eat what feels right. And then the other big side effect I've gotten recently is heartburn, and kind of that indigestion bit of it. Goodness, almost talking for 20 minutes. Start to wrap this up soon. I did have to go to the doctors at one point because I was having some stomach pains high up. I'll stand up soon to show you guys the bump. But again, being that this is my first pregnancy, I didn't know what that was. And they are coming on pretty hard, pretty painful, intermittently. And so I called the doctors first, explained them to them, explained kind of what was going on, what I was feeling. And they did decide that they wanted me to come in. And again, I had to go in by myself for this one. But we did get, goodness, skipping ahead of myself. So went in, but the doctor was quickly able to determine that this was more so, I was describing them as cramps, but the doctor was able to more so determine these were just stomach pains, not so much cramps in the sense of pregnancy cramps. So she was able to determine that it's kind of just a form of heartburn and indigestion, so she prescribed me it was either Tagamet or Zantac to start taking to help alleviate that, and just let me know that it's okay to take Tums when I feel that coming on, to stay away from spicy or bubbly foods, she said, so carbonation or spices. And the carbonation part is hard for me because I have been craving like Sprite, which I know is not good. That's one thing that tastes really good to me now. So yeah, and I have noticed on days where I do stay away from those spicy and bubbly foods that I don't get the heartburn so bad and I don't get any of the stomach pains. So that was something good to find out. And during that one, we did get another ultrasound here. We were able to see a little bit more of baby. At that point, I did not know the gender yet. That was right before my 20-week scan. And then I don't have the images from my 20-week scan right here because baby boy was being really difficult during it. He was hard to take pictures of, and he was hard to see. So I did have to go in for another scan to get a better picture of the heart and some other things, just to, you know, make sure everything was measuring correctly. But at that second ultrasound, I did get some much better pictures. And this is my favorite one right here. You're really starting to see that little baby boy. Here's his head. Oh, glare. So yeah, that was really exciting, and that's where we're at right now. So for those of you that have listened this far and to listen to what's going on, you know, the main reason I'm wanting to do this is, you know, for something that, for me to look back on, goodness, sorry. For me and Andrew to look back on, and to remember these times. But I also want to put these out there for any other first-time moms or moms that are going through a pandemic pregnancy like I am, and it's kind of how we're feeling and symptoms, and kind of just sharing how this is all going for myself to relate to others. So I will make another video soon addressing kind of what the channel is going to start looking like, what kind of videos I'm going to post. Most of the other footage that we have right now is from last summer, so I still do plan on posting those hikes and those outings that we did last summer, just kind of like I said, as a little memory book for us, and you guys might enjoy those, some tips for future hikes and things like that. And then I am going to continue doing some pregnancy updates, hopefully someday in the lives, pregnant mama, getting his nursery ready, things like that. So thank you so much for those of you that have come and clicked on my video and chosen to watch it today. I appreciate it so much. If you want to see more of these pregnancy updates along with our outdoor adventure videos that we like to do, click subscribe. I'm new here to this YouTube world. I've watched it for years and now just would love to document it for me and my family, and share it with those of you who would love to see it. So hit subscribe, hit the like button, and stay tuned for more channel updates and bump updates. Thanks guys. Oh, before I forget, I almost forgot to show the bump. Let me scoot that back. I'm wearing some shorts right now. Don't poke it out. Yeah, so you can kind of see there. I'm wearing some maternity shorts right now that have the elastic right here. There's the bump so far. So I'm excited to have you guys here to watch it grow. Thanks, guys.